Yo, what's good, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry Sisters review. This is season 7, episode 5, entitled Hanging in the Balance. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, then you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell somebody to tell somebody, all that good stuff if you choose to. But if not, just sit back and relax while we get into this messy thing. Now, first thing first, let me just say this episode was all over the place. Okay, I am not a fan of all the jump cuts when it comes to these different scenes. It literally felt like I was going to get a case of whiplash. It was a lot going on last night, but it also wasn't a lot going on. It was too many scenes. It was too many scenes. Some scenes were not needed. So y'all bear with me, because if I missed something along the way, that's just because I didn't feel like it was important. I'm just be honest with you. But this episode, it was a struggle to get through. But first thing first, let's start with the underwhelming opening scene. I think this scene was underwhelming mainly because we have witnessed so many interactions between Karen and Zach that for me specifically at this point, their scenes hold no weight, because Zach, why are you here? Why are you here? Zach should not have been there, period. I understand that all of a sudden he's trying to appease Fatima by requesting a DNA test, a test that he doesn't even want. I get that. But showing up at this woman's grand opening to request such a thing was definitely the wrong time and the wrong place. One of my issues is Zach has had 5.5 months to request a DNA test. He has had 5.5 months to get down to the truth of it all. However, he has chosen not to. And the major question should be, why is that? And I think it's because, in my personal opinion, Zach believes the child this is. He doesn't even want to do this test, but as I stated earlier, he's doing this to appease Fatima. So when Zach gets there, his whole thing is, Aaron may not be the dad, but that does not necessarily mean that I'm the father. And he was like, and I heard how you got down in college. I said, wait a minute. Because what we're not going to do is go back 17, 18 years and try to pull up Karen's whole facts of her sexual history in college. Because that has nothing to do with the here and the now. All we got to do is go back 6.5 months for you, sir. In actuality, we ain't even got to go back that far, because people tend to have amnesia when it comes to the things of Zachary Taylor. Because my thing was, no, you did not have sex with Connie, but you were going to. And I'm pretty sure when his mother saw him and Connie, they were in the groove, probably kissing, hugging, touching, maybe taking off some articles of clothing. So let's not act like Zach was not about to screw Connie over there on Zatima. Also, let's not act as if he wasn't about to do the do with Deja when he saw her at that party. And the only reason they did not have sex is because Deja stopped it. She knew that he was drunk and she didn't even want it that way, even though she did want him badly. We definitely not going to forget the time that he was sitting next to a naked Deja who had a towel wrapped around her, and he told her that he's working hard like hell, pretty much knocked the S out of her. Y'all know what them abbreviations mean. So we're not going to act like he's over here squeaky clean, trying to make somebody else seem like they were being the promiscuous one. Now, we all know about Rico. Again, for the last umpteenth time, Rico was someone that Karen did have sex with whenever her and Zach were on the outs, when they were broken up, when they were not together. We all know what the outs mean, okay? He was not a side dude. That's not what that was. You was a little dude I do when me and my man ain't together no more. Or when we done took a little break, I call you. You're the maintenance man. You come and tighten me up. You know what I'm saying? When the regular person who handles business is not in a position to handle business. We all grown. Let's act like we know. Karen was the MVP for me last night when she told Zach, I know your whole ass didn't come here and try to accuse me. I said, let's give her the trophy. I know your whole ass sums it right on up. Sums it right on up. And I think Karen was a little hurt that Zach was trying to imply that the possibility of her sleeping around. And I just feel like we're not together. So whether I sucked around on you or I didn't, whatever I did sexually or did not do sexually when we were together is no longer your concern. Why does that matter to you? And we're not talking about who they may have been with while together. We're talking about the men that Karen slept with within the window of conception. It was only 2 men, not a magical third person that everybody wanted or a magical fourth person who doesn't exist. We're talking about the 2 men that she had sex with in the window of her conception. If we really want to be all the way honest, based on time, Aaron isn't even an option. But we don't want to have that conversation. So I'm going to move right on along. Trey comes over and tries to interfere, about making sure everything is okay. He want to make sure Karen is all right. Tells Zach he don't want to start. I don't want to start no trouble. I ain't trying to start nothing. And Zach was like, who is supposed to be your man? And I said, and if he was, what does that mean? Everybody ain't got to be slipping and sliding in somebody to want to protect them or come to their aid. That's the way you think. Then everybody kind of disappointed me in this scene. Miss Lisa comes over and escorts Zach out. And my whole thing is, I already told you not to come. And the fact that this is the reason why you showed up to my daughter's salon to do this, for me to know the character of Miss Lisa, it is hard for me to see her so calm with this situation here. Your daughter is pregnant. This dude came to ask for a DNA test that he could have waited tomorrow to talk about. He has this type of energy with him, and that's all you say to him. To me, that was very unbelievable, just in my personal opinion. It was very unbelievable. I don't even know why Trey came up there. Like, I love looking at Tenderoni Trey, but it seems like the only reason they had him come up there, they had Karen do like a little, like she stumbled a little bit, and he went and they bring her some water. That was pretty much it with that scene. I don't know, but I'm trying to get everything together because, like I said, they cut so much of these scenes. It was just ridiculous. Karen is sitting on the couch in her salon, and her mom is writing her a check. And basically, Miss Lisa tells her, if you just give Zach this DNA test, you wouldn't have to borrow money from me. I said, wait, excuse me? I am so sick and tired of everybody being in a position to make it seem like Zach is the victim. He's not the victim. And Zach being the father does not mean anything when it comes to Karen's salon. It was almost as if they're trying to paint this picture as if Karen is about the money. And it's never been about that. I said, did Miss Lisa really just say that? I said, yes, she did. What do you mean? Let him be a part of his life. That's what, Zach wants. Let's all make it appear that we're just so into what Zach wants. Who gives a damn what Zach wants? I know I don't, but that's just me. Then Karen has a conversation with Pam. It was Pam initially about getting the DNA test, let Zach be a part of the baby's life, so on and so forth. I said, what is going on? Then we get Tenderoni Trey, who has known Karen but a second. Well, I know I would have that same energy too if I felt like, I wasn't going to be able to see my baby. I said, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Why are we acting as if Zach could not have requested a DNA test a long time ago? But that's neither here nor there. I don't even want to get into it because I don't care anymore. I was surprised that Trey did ask Karen to go to lunch and she accepted. And that was the last we saw of them the entire episode. But I just had to get that stuff out the way because I'm so sick and tired of this damn storyline with this baby, this paternity. I'm sick of it. Moving along. I don't want to talk about it no more. I'm done. Before I end the salon scene, I got to deal with Danny. Danny shows up to the salon drunk and high as hell. I feel like it was guilt. I also feel like she wanted to see a situation happen. She comes out of the back. We didn't even know that Sepha was there. I'm the auntie. We got you, girl. I'm going to be there for you. Been through a lot. Your salon burnt down. She's winking her eye as if it was a fraudulent situation. The baby daddy's issues. I said, you're embarrassing. And even though I did see this the first time I watched the episode, when I was looking back through it again, when Karen made her speech, I felt so bad for her because she was like, thank you to all, the clients and potential clients. And I hope that you can enjoy the rest of this event, which lets me know that girl was not happy. You had to deal with your friends not helping you. All they asses came late, left early. You had to deal with Zach, and now you got to deal with your mama, Pam, and Tenderoni Trey telling you how you need to let Zach be a part of this baby's life. And that was a lot. That was a whole hell of a lot. But Danny needs her ass completely beat. And I'm going to just stick on Danny. we see that Danny goes to a therapy session. And if you watch Our Sisters Keeper last night with me and Erica Vane, I felt like this scene was supposed to be powerful, should have been incredibly powerful, but wasn't, in my personal opinion. Dealing with the men in Danny's life, and for me, I would have felt better if they actually had a conversation about the things that Danny said about her friend and unlocking that. I feel like that is a better story to tell than Danny with men. Because I feel like the way that Danny treats Andy, Sabrina, and Karen is a direct correlation to how she feels about herself, which leads to the type of men that she chooses and the situations that she allows herself to be placed into. That's just my personal opinion. We find out that Danny's first abusive relationship happened in college. He was a star basketball player, and she thought she was the ish because she had a man with some status on campus. And he dragged her into the locker room. I'm not going to go into detail because I want to be very sensitive to people who have experienced this or may be in this situation. And, she begins to cry. She gets, super emotional. And she was basically stating that that was a memory that she has suppressed that was beginning to come out. And in my mind, I'm like, I wanted to feel bad, but I just didn't. I understand when you have dealt with certain type of abuse and what it does to your psyche and what it does to you. And this is why I hope and pray that the writers do not drop the ball with this storyline, because I feel like Danny does have the most powerful storyline of this season if done correctly. Because when you begin to go to therapy and you begin to unlock some things, and when you begin to deal with the realization of who you are as a person, who you are as an individual, and how that affects other people in your life, to me, it gives you a greater appreciation for the ones who didn't walk away. Because sometimes people don't realize how difficult it is to deal with them. I ain't gonna say deal, how to go through life with them. Danny had made a statement that, Karen was difficult to be a friend to, that it was very hard to be Karen's friend. And I felt like Danny was projecting. I felt like that's how she feels about herself, honestly. I'm just hoping the ball isn't dropped with this particular storyline. And they brought up Jonah. And she was like, she was surprised she couldn't see the darkness in him. And I'm like, Danny, you wouldn't have seen the darkness anyway because you were not looking to have any type of spiritual connection with this man. You were not walking in discernment nor wisdom. All you wanted to do was have sex. You wouldn't have seen the darkness in him anyway because you had an agenda, and your agenda was to get gratified sexually, and that's it. So to see darkness in something when you're not tapped into that realm, you're not going to see it. And I'm like, writers, if we're trying to go deep like that, you do have people who watch this show that can go deep with you, but don't miss the mark. So if we going to operate where she can't see darkness, where we really try. I just felt like that scene was kind of like all over the place. And I just would have appreciated it more if the conversation was about, Danny and her relationship to the people that she considers family. You know what I'm saying? Just my personal opinion, but moving right along. Well, let me stay with Danny. Like I said, these scenes. Danny goes back to work, and she's in Tony's office. This is a scene that could have been deleted. We didn't need it. Only to tell him that she wasn't going to be able to go to lunch with him. And she was getting back to work. I'm like, okay. But then she comes back in his office, and, Tony feels that he understands how powerful therapy can be. Therapy also give you things to think about, and it can have your mind going in many different directions. And then it was like, I tend to push people away, when things happen. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't think you needed therapy to realize that, but okay. And so Tony pleads with her not to shut him out, not to push him away. And at first she was like, she needed to be alone. And I was like, yes, I was so happy. And then as she gets up and walk out the door, she turns back around and tells him that he could come over. I'm like, no, you're not. By telling Tony you need space in this moment, you're not pushing him away. You're actually doing what's best for you in this moment. So I didn't like that. But, to each their own. Got to talk about this. I don't even remember what the hell happened in this scene. Maurice and Grayson. Grayson is fine as hell. Sir, I don't know who you are, You are gorgeous. You are a beautiful black king. Do you hear me? Oh my God. With all respect, and I'm going to just leave it at that before it gets disrespectful in my observation of you. but I think he met Maurice online with like OnlyFans or something like that. And they met up, they go out for drinks or whatever. I don't know what the hell they talked about. Like I said, I didn't care about this scene. Looking at him, yes. The scene, no. So I'm sorry. I'm moving right on along. Fatima and Zach. Lord Jesus. These people here. Okay. So this is after the whole debacle at the salon. Zach comes, tell Fatima he had to go to the gym, blow some steam off because everything went left at the salon. And she was like, what? I know she ain't put her hands on you. I'm like, why did you think that? You act like you ain't put your hands on Zach. I'm trying to understand. And if Karen did put her hands on Zach, what were you going to do, ma'am? I'm sorry. What were you going to do? Oh, okay. And so, Zach was like, well, she did feel like I was kind of calling her, out her name, being that the baby isn't Aaron's. And I'm saying the possibility it couldn't be mine. Basically, Karen felt like I was calling her a slut. Fatima made this face to say, I mean, she is one. That's what her face read to me. And if she would just give us a paternity test, we wouldn't have to deal with this. And she's not getting a dime until, it comes out that the baby is yours. I said, first of all, Karen ain't ask you for any money. I'm not understanding why Fatima is so involved, because if I was Karen, I know how my mouth is. I'm like, ma'am, please go sit down. I'm sorry. But were you there when your man let loose in me? You weren't there, were you? Oh, okay. I advise you to go have a seat. I know how my mouth, I would be nasty. I hope I wouldn't, but I know I could be. Fatima is too involved in this situation. This is actually a Karen and Zach situation. It has nothing to do with Fatima. We ain't giving her no money. No, baby, you don't have the money that Zach has. Karen will be getting your money. So go have a seat. Fatima is becoming that girl. And I think one of the things that just pissed me off this entire episode when it came to her was every time Zach talked about this child, Fatima throws seeds of doubt. I could understand you saying, babe, I just want to make sure that, you know for sure that Karen's child is yours. It's always a menacing tone. Well, I mean, you don't know the baby is yours. Well, you got to make sure it's yours first. I mean, who's to say it ain't somebody else? You stupid to believe that's your child anyway. Like, it's the tone that she uses that really gets on my nerves. But, it is what it is. Then we see Fatima at work. And she's basically, telling Andy, I hate to do this. I said, no, you don't. You've been saying that since season 3. Every time you approach Andy when you're about to say something about Karen. Every time. I hate to do this, but can y'all talk to her? Can somebody talk to her? Talk to her about what? Karen is a grown-ass woman who can make her own grown-ass decisions. What is Andy supposed to do? Fatima oversteps, and I've been saying that from the very damn beginning. She oversteps her boundaries, and nobody checks it but Karen. And then she the crazy one for checking it. But anywho, I loved when Andy was like, talk about how Zach went to the salon and caused a scene. She said that. He did not cause a scene. Baby girl, you weren't there. You don't know what this man did. He shouldn't have been there anyway. And at first I said I was going to give props to Andy. Erica Vane was like, I ain't giving her nothing. And the more I thought about it, I said, you know what, sis? You right. I ain't giving Andy jack. Andy did tell Fatima, that was not the appropriate place nor time for Zach to ask for a DNA test. And Fatima was like, well, maybe it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Period. It wasn't. Ain't no well maybes about it. The fact that Karen is 5.5 months means there have been months that Andy has not stood up for Karen, has not placed her foot down when it comes to Fatima coming to her about Karen. So no, I can't give Andy any props, because how long is this going to go on? Period. But the best thing about that scene was Fatima thought it was Karen who told Andy about everything that happened at the salon. But it was actually Danny, the one who should be friends, the one that Danny just, Fatima a cool chick. No, because Fatima didn't like what you said. She didn't like it that it came from you. She didn't like what you said about her man. I said, see, this is what happens when you don't really know somebody. You just know of the representative. You've hung out with Fatima twice in 6 months, and you telling me that's enough for you to make you go back on a friendship of almost 20 years? Nah, sis. I'm sorry. No. But we going to move along because it was so much that happened in this episode. I will do smaller videos. This is why I don't like doing reviews of Sisters, especially now in season 7, because there's too many scenes and stuff that just don't make no damn sense. Anyway, Sabrina and Rich. Quick scene, Sabrina comes in. Rich is happy to see her like always. They make a beautiful couple. But the issue is Sabrina wants children. Rich does not. Sabrina tells Rich that she wants to freeze her eggs. Rich tells Sabrina, I think you should. Because, if you and me don't work out, you should be able to have the opportunity to become a mother. I said, damn. But I couldn't hate on the brother because you know what? He was honest. Point blank period. He was honest. When Sabrina left, there was a quick moment where it seems as if Rich was replaying his conversation with Sabrina. Almost like, damn, why did I say that? And the thing is, you really can't get mad with Rich because he's been honest from the very beginning about what he wants, about what he don't want, and about what he's not going to do. And I have to respect that. Just period. I got to respect that. Penelope goes to see Gary in his office. She brings him lunch because she's still trying to search for things that don't need to be searched for. This scene I could have did without. We know that Gary is going crazy. Okay, Gary is sniffing coke. Gary is, he's high. He's not thinking rationally. He broke his laptop on his desk. He's just losing his mind at the moment. We are seeing it. So much so that Andy and Jordan goes out to dinner. Gary is staked outside. He's still sniffing coke, and he has a firearm in the glove compartment. I'm like, what are you about to do? You about to take Jordan out right now? What are you about to do, Gary? I said, baby, somebody come arrest him and get this man from with this firearm, because who knows what he will do? We have no idea. Just none. Gary is outside his mind. And speaking of Andy and Jordan, oh my God, they just irked my soul. He was nibbling on her hands like it was the last bit of Cheetos in a bag. I said, I can't take him seriously. I just can't. Andy is concerned about Jordan being in a scandal, and he's telling her there is no scandal, like you have nothing to worry about. I said, Andy, you forgot about all the skeletons in your closet, sis? First of all, the man that you were in a relationship with for the past, the 6, 7, 8 months, he was married the entire time. He's being investigated by the FBI. You had a sexual relationship with the owner of the law firm that you work at, had a threesome with him with an unknown woman. You don't know who the hell she was and what she may have on you, or pictures that she may have on her phone. They could have been recording you. You have no earthly idea. And you want to be concerned about Jordan's scandals? Baby, you need to be worried about yours. I may have missed some stuff. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I may have missed some stuff. I tried to cover everything. Overall, this episode was not it. Okay, this episode was really not it. It was just not it. But I thank them for the eye candy. I appreciate you. I hope we do better. Episode 6, I hope we do better. We shall see. But the episode 4 and episode 5, it just wasn't it for me. But I thank you guys for listening. Until next time, I will holler at y'all later, and y'all be safe out there.